Alright guys, so this is the first podcast with your boy Zay. You just saw him, or maybe if you didn't see the vlog, but he was in a couple vlogs ago. This is my barber. He's also a big anime fan, big book fan. We also exchange books. We got our own little book club.
Spirit Brothers.
Spirit Brothers. So pretty much with this video today, we're just going to talk about like how books has like reshaped our lives.
It's true.
And we can go from here. So what about you, man? Like what's the first time you read a book and you were like,
Bro, this is crazy, but the first time I actually read a book, I was watching Belly. It's a movie with Nas and DMX actually.
Mhm.
So the whole movie, they're basically they're living the high life, but they're low lives because the way they get their money is not like legally. It's like they're selling drugs,
Yeah.
they're like big, drug dealing. And then Nas, I think his name was Sincere in the movie. He finds a way to get out, and dude, literally all he did was he read this book that changed his mind. So when that book changed his mind, the dude was telling his wife, yo, let's go to Africa, like I'm not supposed to be here, like there's way more to life than this. So I was like, yo, my favorite rapper reads books, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't just read it in the movies, because Nas is a wise dude.
yeah,
So I picked up the 48 Laws of Power, bro. That was like the book at the time that was hitting me.
yeah, my book was powerful.
Dude, and then that's when the journey started. It took me like 5 years, because I was like a kid when I started. But when I finished that book, you know how when you finish a book, you feel like you're the most accomplished man ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when it started. And then ever since then, I've been reading, and then I've been just like you on the grind, yo.
Okay.
We're reading like 100 books a year, basically.
Yeah.
80 books a year, It's just knowledge seeking.
Yeah, that's really it. And I don't know when. Like I feel like it was just the knowledge. Like when you learn something new, and then it's not even like just knowing it. It's like it works because you've used it before, and you're like, dude, that happened to me before.
Yeah.
Like, let me give you an example. This one book, Seven Levels of Intimacy.
Damn, I haven't read that one.
I haven't heard about it yet. So pretty much this book is just all about like what it actually means to be intimate. Like, mind you, I knew nothing about relationships, still
Yeah.
barely do, right? But when I read that
Same,
book,
bro.
I'm like, dude, I've been doing this whole relationship thing wrong.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah, I had everything backwards. So when I look at that, I'm like, dude, how many other things have I been doing backwards? So now I'm picking up like spiritual books,
Yeah.
psychology, sociology.
You're feeding it. You're
Yeah.
feeding the seeker within you that wants,
Yeah,
that
wants to
knowledge.
know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be that guy that's just like
And that's
mad.
I mean, I'm sorry to use the word, but that's called being woke, because
Yeah.
I feel like that's what, like your spirit is like, yo, I'm hungry for something, Your mind is tired of all the conditioning we've had while we were growing up, and then you pick up a book, and it's like, have you ever felt like when you read a book, it's like, damn, I knew this already, but it didn't click
Yeah.
until you read
Until
it.
you read the
So
book.
it's like awesome, I mean, people might be like, oh, this guy's reading books, nerds or whatever, but a couple years down the road, when all this knowledge starts, taking
Building.
place, building, it's like, yo, you're gonna be a mental monster. It's like, yo, how do you get there? Reading a book is like literally like, it's like a movie, bro. You start it, and then when you finish, you're a different man. Like, you might not even talk for a couple days after a book. Like, especially that book you're reading right now. I don't know if you want to show it off. That book, after I read this book, I read like 100 years. I read your books last year. When I read that book, I probably only read like 5 this year, because that book,
is so
it
powerful.
cut me, dude. It cut me to my soul. And
So how different do you think you were before, like, you even read books to now?
before, I was basically definitely way more, like, in the system. Like, the things I was going after was more, like, for the outer, like the outer world to see. And now it's more of like life is short, like, I gotta use my time wisely. So now I'm reading books that will benefit me. Like, if I'm going, like, right now I'm reading the On Fear book,
Yeah.
which is great, dude.
Bruce
On Fear,
Lee's,
Bruce Lee's mentor,
mentor.
yeah, the sensei, On Fear, and it's like, dude, it's like, it could be like the smallest thing. What this book is telling me is like, it could be, let's say I'm afraid of the dark, which I'm not. I'm scared of the freaking ocean. I gotta go.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go scuba diving after this book, but it's like, yeah, like, let's say it's basically saying like, yo, if I'm scared of this little fear, one little fear that I'm scared of is gonna block me from having complete faith. And it's like, the only way you can take on life is having faith.
Yeah.
And faith is just saying, I don't mind what happens. and then you see like every
Just believe.
successful people, like, and when you know people that like have that basically take control of their path, they live by faith because they're like let's say you, when you told me about the whole fitness thing, they're like, dude, I didn't know I was gonna, you know, you were just bringing yourself and what, you know, you're basically what you bring to the table,
Yeah.
and then little by little you see how it's
Building
progressing, yeah, and it's, you did it by faith, bro. You didn't listen to nobody. It's not like you were like, oh, let me go to the school right there. It's like, nah, that's what you want to do, you know, it's your talent, so.
Just
Work
do
on it.
something. And yeah, I thought you were gonna say something like this, but I don't know. People ask me most of the time, but it's like, oh, when what clicked, or like what was different now
Mm.
than back then. And I always look at it, I'm like, dude, I would say, just, what's the opposite of peace? Chaotic.
You were in chaos, like you had
Yeah.
turmoil.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Everything was just chaotic. I didn't even know what I wanted. I'm going after people that I don't even see a reason to go after. Like, I'm doing things that I don't even know why I'm doing it. Maybe just other people. I'm doing it for other people. I feel a type of way when someone maybe compliments me or throws a little diss at me,
Yeah.
right? And after that, I'm like, what? Let me pick up a book. Picked up, like I said, my first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was shift everything.
Yo, I didn't even know you read that book.
Yeah, shift everything with finance and the system, right?
Yeah.
Then I ended up picking a book called No Excuses. I actually gave it to one of my friends, and it's by a psychologist, and I'm reading it on the train to New York, and the whole time I'm reading it, I'm just like, wow, I was making this many excuses, like, because they'll tell you oftentimes when you try and like throw shade at someone else, you're like, nah, it's because of them, you don't take responsibility, or if you're like, well, I can't do it because, right, or I can't do this because of this, and oftentimes that just shows you're weak.
True.
When you try and use something else's blame to not do it, you're not taking responsibility for it. So you're trying to use that other thing to throw the weight on, so you don't have to take anything.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. So excuses, that book just alone was like, dang, how many excuses are you really making?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll catch myself because you're starting to get more self-aware of stuff, and you just start looking back at the end of the day. Because I even look back today, I'm like, dude, what's going on with me? Like, why am I'm so mellow today? Yeah. And I feel nothing. So, some of these books, I would say they shift your mind to like be way more mature than. And that's a freaking broad word. Obviously, it's subjective, but that's what books did to me. It's like made me, changed me like as a person. Like some people even say, bro, you're 80 in a 20-year-old's body. I'm like.
Yeah, that's what wisdom does, bro.
That's
like, think about it. These books were written, bro. That book, I think, was written like, I mean, I don't even think, our parents weren't even born. Maybe our grandparents weren't even born. No. So we're getting knowledge from centuries ago, you know?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
1951.
It's like learning. We're like learning from. It's like saying, like, let's say there was a man. The way I could put it is this way. Let's say there's this park that I go to. We gotta go there, by the way. But it's just like the meditation park. It's a hidden gem here in Kissimmee, but once you go there, bro, you probably read like 50 books, like in 1 month, because you'll be stuck. But basically, bro, I got lost in that park, and then I found my way back, and that's basically what you're doing. Like, I feel like that's what we're doing with the books. We're basically reading somebody's path is written on these pages. So what we're doing is, they basically walk the path for us. So when we learn it, we don't have to walk that path because we just insert it into our brains. Yeah. All we got to do is see when things like that come our way, how we react.
Exactly. Just little signs.
Omens. Yeah. The omens, dude, like the alchemist.
Connection. Pick up the Alchemist. For books like that, those little novels. Yeah. I feel like nowadays you can learn more from novels and stories.
Yeah, that's why I'm freaking obsessed with anime, because I learn more from those little stories. Like, it's like people think it's cartoons, bro. Those things, they do beheadings and stuff in those shows. Like, dude, that's real life stuff. It's like TVMA, dude, Teen Mature.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're looking at it from that perspective, then yeah. But when you're younger, and you're just watching out of joy, right? Yeah. It'll hit you later in the future, but at the moment, people are like, oh, bro, why are you watching those kiddie Japanese shows?
Yeah.
Me, personally, I'm like, dude, I just like this. This is more entertaining than anything else.
I'd rather watch anime than freaking
reality.
Yeah,
TV.
reality.
So, and like later on, I'm like, dude, that anime taught me this. That anime low-key had this in it. That anime-
Dude, if I talk about the stuff that Hunter x Hunter put me onto, bro, then they'll be like, yo, kick this man out of society right now.
Exactly what they say, bro. Dang.
But yeah, man, that's just one of the things books do, man. Like,
So why'd you even touch a book? Like, I
I-
didn't get the why.
it was, yeah, because, yo, at the beginning it was tough because, and that's another thing too about books. A lot of people don't want to read because they're like, oh, books are not for me.
Yeah, there's
The thing
there has
is,
to be a
it
reason.
takes one book. Only takes, think about it. That, like for me, I would say it was the 40 Laws of Power and The Alchemist. That book to me is The Alchemist on steroids
Yeah.
because that book is like it's
Yeah,
more
man.
it's way more heartbreaking. The heart breaks everything, but it penetrates the soul. But it just takes one book, you know. It's something you might be interested in, even if it's like sports. And so you might pick up a book about like, let's say, like Derek Jeter, his
Yeah.
life, and then it might connect with yours, and then boom, and that's just
That's it.
yeah, it's like a friend, you know. To especially if you're an introvert, bro, like it's like
Yeah.
a friend, you know, that's actually gonna play like ping pong with you. You know, you're gonna have questions, and then they're hitting. It's like you're conversating with the book, you're in your thoughts, and then your mental level just rises.
Yeah, you're just in a different stage.
Yeah.
But why though? The
Why-
48 laws. Like, why'd you even?
Why? Because at the time I felt weak. I felt like, because I'm one of those people that care about every little thing, you know, every little, like, let's say, like, you're my homeboy, so if you tell me, yo, like, my dog just died, I'll be like, damn, bro, like, I'm sad for you. So
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to be, you know, to care for people, but I needed to have a strong center. So I needed to be one of those people, like, kind of like in those samurai movies, when,
Yeah.
like, there's, like, stuff coming their way, like, even the Bruce Lee, and the dude's just calm, you know, he's just dodging stuff. And even the chess players, that motivates me too, because it's like, dude, they're so controlled no matter what happens, you know. And it's like life, dude. That's how life is. The way when problems come our way, the more calm we are, the more it shows that we're centered.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked it up. I was like, yo, I feel like my mind is my weakness, because my mind could be my biggest
Yeah.
like asset, but it's also my biggest weakness. So I gotta make sure it becomes stronger than like the weak, you know. So
That's crazy.
that's why I picked up books.
Dang. And you know, like for me, it wasn't even any of that. I just didn't like reading books, right? Just didn't even like it. Uncle actually left one of his books there. His company gave it to him. He left it at the house. I was like, dude, you left your book here. He's like, oh, blah, 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 it's fine. I'll pick it up when I come back. I looked at the title. It's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh,
Da, da,
that's
da,
a
da.
sick
Like, and the
book, yeah.
subtitles are crazy, right? And I'm just like,
What is this?
like the title just
Yeah.
like,
And then you get hooked because
Yeah,
it's a story. It's not
reading
even
just
Yeah.
going off reading, showing people, yo, bro, you hear, like, once you know
Yeah.
something, you always want to spread it, right?
Especially the first book, you're like, yo, you want to show the whole
You feel
world.
like a you
Yeah.
feel like a god. Now,
For
now you
real.
read it like over hundreds of books, you're just like,
Yeah.
like, damn nugget, boom, put it in your pocket.
Dude, exactly. I wish you could have videos of like, I guess how we were as people before we started reading books, and then later it'll be like a time lapse of us being mad happy and just more like serious and mature.
It's just
just-
like,
yeah. I mean, we still got the kid in us, but it's like now we got like the kid and the adult. You
yeah.
know.
It's more controlled. I think,
Yeah.
like you were saying. I guess that's why when I read books, I feel like I'm just in more control. Like I'm not arguing as much. I don't think I argue. I don't even think about getting in fights.
You're more focused on your purpose.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
more focused on my purpose.
And what's a
more
man
at
without his
peace.
purpose, bro? We're nobody. We're like a copy. So
Yeah.
you know, you find your purpose. You're
Mentally
driven.
stronger.
Yeah.
Like everything's more controlled. So, and I don't even know when that hit, but I feel like nowadays you still feel something,
Yeah.
but like I think it was either emotional intelligence or Daniel Goleman, another psychologist.
Yeah.
That emotional intelligence book, it just kind of threw it at me. It's like, dude, whatever people throw at you, compliment, reject, diss, you're gonna feel it regardless inside,
Mhm.
but you can control the reaction. Once
Yo.
I heard that, dude, everything changed.
It's crazy, bro. How words, because words that's something I heard. Like words control us. So, dude, this book is talking about that same thing you just said. It's like it says the way he put it was, thoughts strengthen fear. So fear is like, let's say fear would be, and I would say fear is like a big topic to talk about in this life that we're living, the short life, because it's like, dude, the way he puts fear is this. He's like, yo, let's say you tripped or somebody, like, let's say you went up to a concert and you freaking messed up the national anthem, like Fergie at the NBA All-Star game, you know, and then, like, you know, she might, like, you're scared to go next time because of that last experience, even though you might kill it the next concert you do.
You still got that.
But you still got that in the past. That's fear. And then thought is you thinking about it, and that's why thought strengthens fear. So faith is when you don't mind what happens, you know, and then what's our job? To build that inner confidence, and that's why, you know, like, I guess the stronger our mind is, the more inner confidence we have to take on life, you know, to attack our purpose.
So what do you think confidence is? Like, what do you...
Confidence is just knowing what you can do and, like, not adding to it, you know, like me, I'm a barber, like, you know, I could lace up, you know, like I would say, like, the guy clientele, man. If a lady comes in, you know, with, like, long hair, she wants, like, a blow dry and a haircut, I might be like, yo, I'm not the one for that, you know. I'm confident that I could do, like, a simple job, but I'm not gonna. It's like, you know,
all that extra
yeah, it's like, you know, it's like you know what your limits are, you know. So I'm not gonna. Like I said, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to go on an expedition if I'm not ready for it, you know.
Yeah.
Confidence is kind of like that, you working on yourself to be ready to, like, become, like, that explorer, you know. So, yeah. And that's why I feel like books strengthen that, you know, that.
Just because you know.
Aspect. Just because you know, and then, you know, I mean, you've read a bunch of books, too. The more that we read, bro, the more, the first stages is like we just got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
But then when it starts settling in, then you're like, yo, now I just want to live. And that's where I'm at now. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm not reading as much, but I'm living more and applying what I learned.
Exactly.
And that's when you start seeing, you know, you're seeing it too, but that's when you start seeing, you know, the people are looking at you different because they're like, yo, this guy's not the same. He's not a copy no more. He's an individual now.
Yeah. Because, and this is one thing, I disliked it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, okay, I understand.
You're embracing it.
Yeah. It was. Books are shit unless you use it, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So every time I hear that, I'm like, dude, okay, obviously, right? And at the time, I was feeling a little, like, self-conscious. I was like, am I really even using what I'm learning, right? Keep reading, and I tried to keep ignoring it, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and I got people asking me, yo, what do you think you're learning from? What do you think you're going to do with reading all those books, right? And later on, I'm like, past few months, things just starting to change up. I know, like, a little stuff was hitting me, I was still changing. Past few months, past 4 months, it was just shifted, right? And I'm just like, did all that just compound?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, like, all the books that you just keep reading, it's just gonna keep compounding. All it's gonna, and you could think of it as information, but it's in there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Because you can't unlearn something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always say. You can't really unlearn something. So it's there, and then you just need one thing to shift. So one thing shifts, all of them shift. They're like it's like a domino effect.
That's true.
So I felt like that was with me. Like, one thing kicked, everything just fell down. So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I read that one book, it told me this.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
then you start applying it, and then you start seeing, yo, this is true what they said on this book.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to read more. Yeah.
And now, like, well, I'm getting into spiritual a little bit, and
yeah,
I feel like you just constantly got to stay, like, into different areas of books.
Heck yeah, man. It's definitely it right there.
That's it.
But yeah, sweet.
That was 18, bro.
That was 18. Sweet, dude. That's perfect. And then, yeah, I'm pretty